Why, hi there. Look at the camera, Ron. How are you? I'm Ron Juckett, and it's time for the DoDCast. I'll start again. Why, hi there. I'm Ron Juckett. Look at the camera. It's time for the DoDCast postgame show. The Mets winners on this Father's Day, 5-1. Jacob deGrom, just absolutely remarkable. I believe he allowed 3 hits in 8 innings. Not much the Nats could do. Kind of stymied all day. Joe Ross with a Joe Ross type performance. He was good sometimes. He was bad. I wouldn't even say he was bad. But on the wrong end of what turned out to be a 5-1 decision. So the Nats now go to Miami, no worse than 10.5 games up in first place. It's not that bad. All right. I got something floating around my eye. Let's go look at the total, shall we? It was just not the Nats' day. 1 run on 4 hits and an error. The Mets 5 runs on 11 hits and an error. Trey Turner on the scorecard went 1 for 3 with a walk, but he stole a a Washington team record 4 stolen bases today, and that was the first major leaguer to do that this year. Bunch of Expos did it. Marquise Grissom was the last one to do it in franchise history back in 1992. Those games were played on the plastic at the Big O and not on the comfortable grass at Citi Field, so the ball kind of screwed away faster. Besides that, Daniel Murphy got a double in his last at-bat. He has now reached base in all 27 games he has faced his old team, the Mets. And that, by the way, the Nationals and the Mets is the first final of the day. How about that? All right. Extra base hits. Murphy with that double, the only one. It was his 20th of the year. Nationals went 0 for 6 in runners in scoring position and left 6 on today. Pitching lines. Joe Ross, 6 innings, 9 hits. Boy, it didn't seem like he gave up that many, but he did. 4 runs, 2 of them earned. The Weeders missed catch, which allowed Duda to score, was one of them. He walked 1 and struck out 4, gave up the home run to DeGrom, of all people. And his ERA goes to 5.98. That's actually a drop. 103 pitches and 66 strikes. His changeup velocity is, if you listen on the radio, Dave Jagler said, dropped as the game went on, and that's actually a good thing. It's important to distinguish the difference between the fastball and the changeup, and one of Ross's problems has been there is enough of a difference between the two to distinguish between the two. You got to have a much slower changeup so you can set the fastball up. It wasn't a horrible performance by Ross by any means. They weren't getting anything off DeGrom to begin with. It's about what you expect. A 5th starter goes 6 innings and looked okay doing it. He probably pitched a couple too many batters, but that's been the case for pretty much all the Washington starters this year. Dusty's been leaving them in a little too long. The game was pretty much over anyway. Matt Grace, an inning, 2 hits, a run. It was earned, a walk and 2 strikeouts. And Jacob Turner with the walk in his inning of work. Turner threw 18 pitches for 10 strikes. Grace 21 for 15. Turner with a kind of a strange run of first to end the 9th inning. For the Mets, it was Jacob deGrom's day. He went 8 innings. He allowed 3 hits. Washington scored an unearned run, and he walked 2 and struck out 6, 105 pitches, 65 strikes. He did exactly what he had to do. And as I said in the Twitter chat, some days you just got to tip your hat, look across the way and tip your cap, because DeGrom had the Nats fooled all day. Really wasn't anything. He didn't make any mistakes. He did walk 2, but he didn't get a ton of strikeouts either. He made the Nats hit, and the Mets fielders were right there. So sometimes it bounces that way. There's really not much negative you can blame on the Nats. They didn't beat themselves today. They got legitimately beat by another team. And when the Mets are healthy, they are a good team. So, by the way, Turner goes up to 26 stolen bases on the year with those. Let's go through them. Second base off of DeGrom and d'Arnaud. Third base in that same at-bat off of DeGrom and d'Arnaud. And then he stole twice again he stole them all off of DeGrom and d'Arnaud. So 4 stolen bases for Turner, who just looks so good with his speed. All right. Oh, my goodness. There's a bunch of people here. Yeah, Seth Ross says Jacob deGrom, too much for the Nats. And Al, Red Sox fan, says, hello, could be worse. They're still in first with a big lead. Yeah, you can't be mad about this one, Seth. You can't be mad about this one. Some days it just happens that way. And they took 3 out of 4. They won the 3 games you thought they would take. You were going to kind of give this one, give DeGrom the benefit of the doubt to begin with. And that's what happened. I mean, sometimes you just can't get hits, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you can't go out there and expect to win every game. There are times that you kind of wonder what Dusty's thinking, but you just can't go out there and expect to win every game. There was nothing there that made you want to pull your hair out and say, really, we should have done this, that, and the other thing. And you're right. They took 3 out of 4. They needed to take 3 out of 4 because they don't play all that well at home, or at least not at the moment. You have 3 in Miami starting tomorrow. So you got a chance to have a pretty productive road trip. And, you took 3 out of 4 from your biggest division rival. I mean, really, you can't do much better than that. Would you have liked to have the sweep? Yes. But it doesn't work out that way. And it's like I said, it's not like they played terrible baseball today. It just, DeGrom was better. And that's all there is to it. No, I'm not done. Elsewhere in the division, let's see. Most of the 1 o'clock games must be close to over. Philadelphia leads Arizona 4-3 in the top of the 7th. That'd be a big one for Philadelphia. Arizona still in first place in the National League West. Miami and Atlanta are tied at 4 in the bottom of the 8th. Don't know what Joe West has done in this game, but a lot of people on Twitter are commenting about it. I know that Brad Snicker, the Braves manager, was thrown out. The Orioles taking care of business against the Cardinals on this Father's Day, 8-2 in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. So that's a look at the Major League scoreboard. Let's see. Michael Conforto went 2 for 3 with 2 RBI today and a walk. He really is turning into that Nat killer that Cesar Hernandez and some of the others, Justin Turner and that. Conforto seems to be fitting that kind of that poppy seed stuck into your gum, or the seed you step on with the Lego that you step on with your foot. Just is Lucas Duda a 2 for 3 today with a run scored, and TJ Rivera had a 4-hit game for the Mets. Like I said, not much you can do about that. These games are going to happen. DeGrom goes to 6-3 with a loss. Ross goes to 3-3. It's also the first time that the Nats haven't scored a ton of runs for Ross. They only gave him the 1 run. They gave it to him in the first, and that was it. DeGrom found his game. Seth asks, when the trade rumors start going out? Soon. There are people are starting to get that now. I think for the Nationals, the key thing will be, when does Glover get back, and what will he do when he gets back? Because at that point, if he continues to go and pitch well after he comes off the disabled list and close games, I doubt they go and trade for a closer. If he's not back in the next couple of weeks, they're going to have to see what they can get for a closer. They don't have a lot of leverage, but the rumors will start soon. They will be making a trade, and they will be making a trade for a bullpen piece. I guarantee it. Will they go out there and get another outfielder? Who's out there to get? There really isn't anyone out there that you want. Not without trading people. And Andrew Stevenson's starting to light it up in Syracuse. He's actually hit 444 over the last 10 days. And so if Stevenson is starting to hit good minor league pitching, AAA pitching, then he's probably close to being able to hit major league pitching. We will see. The big news today, as far as transactions go, Sean Kelly was placed on the disabled list for a case of being neck tightness, which they say caused a drop in his velocity. I think between the ears kind of tightened up, but we'll just keep that to ourselves, guys, shall we? Anyway, so AJ Cole has come back up. I would imagine he would be of a long option in the pan. He's certainly not going to start for anybody. There's no reason why Ross lose a spot in the rotation. It's just added depth just in case something happens. That move happened this morning, retroactive, I believe, to Friday. I think that was the case because I believe I had Kelly's last game on Thursday. As far as the injured Mets are concerned, Seth Ross says David Wright as well. Don't forget him. That's true. And I just feel bad about that. He just seems to be a class, super guy, and you never want to see that. So 3 coming up, as I said, against the Marlins in Miami at first visit to Miami this year, which is interesting because tomorrow's the 19th of June. I've looked at the pitching matchups, I think, in a minute. So that's what's coming up. Let's see. Let's take a look at the minor league board. I believe everything is going on. I don't see the score for Syracuse. So games in progress. Richmond ahead of Harrisburg in the bottom of the 8th, 5-3. And Potomac is ahead of Carolina, 9-7. On the top of the 6th, Potomac with 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 4 in the 6th. Mayhaw with his first homer of the year for Potomac. Hagerstown and Lexington. Oh, Hagerstown's losing again. Lexington leads in the top of the 7th, 5-3. And Syracuse lost earlier to Lehigh Valley, 4-3, long with the loss and no home runs. Syracuse did have 11 hits today and couldn't score anything. Wilmer Defoe 1 for 5. He's hitting 185 for the Chiefs. Stevenson went 0 for 4 today. His overall average dropped to 228, and he struck out twice. Beaza, who the Mets signed as a depth piece, pinched it today and went 0 for 1. He's now hitting 167. Jaron Long, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Walked 2, struck out 3, and gave up 2 homers. And Rafael Martin goes 2 clean innings with 2 strikeouts to end the ball game. Syracuse just isn't that great. I think I mentioned that. Trey Turner steals 4 bases today. That is a Washington record. Not sure if that's a Washington since 1901 record. If that sets the record for a team representing Washington. The Expos did it a bunch of times, but remember, for a long time they played on the artificial surface, and it was just a faster game in the 80s. So Marquise Grissom was the last one to do that, and it makes sense because you could just really speed along on that garbage that they used to play on up in Montreal. It was just terrible stuff. If you can't eat it, I don't want to play on it. Which is the old Dick Allen line. I think it was, if you can't smoke it, I don't want to play on it. All right. So the final score on this Father's Day, it was the Mets 5, the Nationals 1. Ricky Keeler took a look today on the site at the problems of Sean Kelly, and Max Scherzer was about to become a daddy again in November. Drew Douglas made him our Nationals Player of the Week. You can read about that. I will have, after I get back from a party, I will write up the 5 Nats and Marlins to watch for their series coming up. And we'll have a full week's worth of stuff coming. So let me tell you this real quick in closing. If your dad is around, give him an extra hug for me. Mine isn't this year on Father's Day, and I miss him. So for the staff of District on Deck, including your Ricky Keeler, who's having a good time himself today, I'm Ron Juckett. Enjoy the rest of the golf if that's where you're headed, and the rest of your Father's Day. For all of us at District on Deck, good night.